Before we begin, I promise you this: by the end of this story, you'll understand how one quiet act of kindness can echo louder than money, power, or fame. And if it moves you, even a little, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this remind us what truly matters. It was 4:15 a.m. when Daniel Ruiz unlocked the side entrance of Wexler Tower in downtown Chicago. The city outside was still wrapped in darkness, the kind that makes even the brightest skyscrapers look lonely. Daniel preferred that hour. No executives rushing past him, no curious glances at the name stitched onto his Navy uniform, D. Ruiz, Facilities. He was a janitor, a single father, and to his 8-year-old daughter Sophia, he was the strongest man in the world. Daniel's life had narrowed to two things: keeping his job and keeping his promise to Sophia that no matter what, they would be okay. After his wife Elena passed away from a sudden illness 3 years earlier, Daniel had learned how to braid hair, pack school lunches, and quiet nightmares at 2 a.m. He worked nights so he could walk Sophia to school in the mornings. He slept in fragments. He worried in silence. Wexler Tower was owned by one of the wealthiest women in America, the tech billionaire investor Miranda Wexler. Miranda Wexler had built her empire on artificial intelligence software and medical robotics. She was known in business magazines as brilliant, ruthless, and untouchable. But the business world didn't know about her twins. 8-year-old Noah and Lily Wexler had been paralyzed from the neck down after a rare neurological disorder struck them at age 4. The illness had taken their mobility and, slowly, their ability to speak. Doctors around the world had tried experimental therapies. Millions of dollars had been spent. The children could blink, could track movement with their eyes, but words had faded into frustrated silence. Miranda had turned half of the top floor of Wexler Tower into a private medical suite and learning center for them. Therapists rotated in and out. Specialists from Switzerland, Japan, and California consulted weekly. Yet progress had stalled, and behind closed doors, even a billionaire mother cried like anyone else. Daniel first saw the twins by accident. He had been assigned to sanitize the private elevator lobby one evening after a spill. The door to the therapy room was slightly open. Inside, he saw 2 small motorized chairs facing a large screen filled with colorful symbols. A speech therapist sat nearby, her voice gentle but tired. "Noah, blink once for yes," she encouraged. "Blink twice for no." The boy blinked once. "Do you want to try again?" 2 blinks. Daniel quickly lowered his gaze and continued mopping, ashamed of intruding on such a fragile moment. But something about the twins stayed with him. Later that night, while eating a sandwich in the break room, Daniel scrolled through his phone. Sophia had once struggled with speech delay after Elena's death. Daniel couldn't afford expensive therapy, so he had spent nights researching free communication tools for children with disabilities. He discovered open-source eye tracking software created by volunteer developers. He had rigged an old tablet with a webcam and helped Sophia use it to express her feelings when she couldn't find words. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't expensive, but it had worked. The next evening, Daniel gathered his courage and approached the therapy director, Ms. Lang. "I'm sorry if this is out of line," he said softly. "But I've seen similar software online that might help. It's not medical grade, but sometimes simpler systems respond better to small eye movements." Ms. Lang looked skeptical. "Mr. Ruiz, we are using the most advanced assistive communication devices available." "I understand," he replied quickly. "It's just, sometimes the expensive ones expect too much precision. The free one adapts to slower eye drift. My daughter used it." Something in his voice, humble, not arrogant, made her pause. She asked him to email the link. The following week, one of the therapists tested the open-source program on a backup tablet. It was simpler, less glossy, but it allowed longer calibration times. Noah's eyes locked onto a blue square. A robotic voice crackled from the speaker. "Hi." The room froze. Noah's eyes widened. He focused again. "Hi, Ms. Lang," gasped. Miranda was called immediately. She arrived breathless, heels clicking across marble floors that had never felt so cold. "Noah," she whispered, kneeling before him. His eyes darted carefully across the screen. "M-O-M." The mechanical voice was distorted, but unmistakable. "Mom." Miranda collapsed into tears. Within hours, Lily was tested on the same system. Her first word was not, "Mom." It was, "Noah." Then, painstakingly, "Together." The breakthrough spread through the building like electricity. Therapists recalibrated the system. Technicians studied it. Miranda demanded to know who had suggested it. When Daniel was summoned to the top floor, he assumed he was being reprimanded. Instead, he found Miranda standing beside her children, her eyes red but shining. "You're Daniel?" she asked. "Yes, ma'am. You helped them speak. I only shared a link," he replied. The therapists did the real work. Miranda studied him for a long moment. "Do you know how many experts told me this was impossible?" Daniel swallowed. "Sometimes, people need someone who sees them as children first, not as cases." That night, Miranda didn't just see a janitor. She saw a father. Over the next weeks, Daniel was invited to observe therapy sessions. Not as staff, as a collaborator. He noticed small things others missed: how Noah's left eye drifted slightly when tired, how Lily responded better to pastel icons than bright red ones. He suggested adjustments, drawing from nights helping Sophia express grief she didn't understand. The twins' vocabulary expanded, from single words to short phrases, from phrases to jokes. One afternoon, Lily carefully selected letters that formed a slow, wobbly sentence: "Mr. Daniel funny." Daniel laughed, covering his face. "I've been called worse." But progress came with backlash. Some board members questioned Miranda's growing reliance on a janitor with no formal degree. A senior consultant implied liability risks. One even suggested Daniel's involvement was a public relations hazard. Miranda listened quietly. Then she asked a simple question: "Did your millions make them speak?" Silence answered her. Meanwhile, Daniel faced his own fear. If the company restructured or if someone complained, he could lose the job that fed Sophia. He considered stepping back. One evening, he found Miranda alone in the therapy room. "I don't want to cause trouble," he said. She looked at him steadily. "Mr. Ruiz, for 4 years I have thrown money at silence. You gave me my children's voices. Do you think I care about boardroom whispers?" Daniel's eyes glistened. "I just did what any dad would do." Miranda's expression softened. "Exactly." Months passed. The story eventually reached the media, not as a scandal, but as a miracle of human collaboration. Headlines focused on the billionaire twins. But inside Wexler Tower, everyone knew the truth. On the day Noah and Lily addressed a small charity gala using their adaptive system, Daniel stood in the back, hands trembling. Noah's voice, still robotic but confident, filled the hall. "Thank you for listening." Lily followed. "Everyone deserves a voice." The audience rose in applause. Miranda stepped to the microphone. "Innovation isn't always about who has the most resources," she said. "Sometimes it's about who refuses to give up." She turned toward Daniel. What she saw left her in tears. Wasn't the software. It wasn't the headlines. It was the moment she looked across the stage and saw a janitor in a pressed navy uniform holding his daughter's hand while her own children spoke freely beside him. 2 fathers. No, 2 parents. 2 families, connected by resilience instead of wealth. Later that night, Miranda approached Daniel with an offer: a full scholarship fund for Sophia's education and a permanent role leading a new accessibility innovation program within her company. Daniel hesitated. "I don't have degrees." "You have heart," Miranda replied. "And apparently, that's rare." Years later, Wexler Technologies launched affordable communications software distributed free to public schools across the country. It was named Elena, after Daniel's late wife. On the first anniversary of the twins' breakthrough, Miranda visited Daniel's modest apartment. She watched Sophia laugh with Noah and Lily through video chat, their digital voices overlapping in chaotic joy. Miranda wiped away tears, not of grief this time, but gratitude. Because what she saw wasn't a janitor. She saw the truth that had eluded her boardrooms and billions. Sometimes the quietest people carry the loudest miracles. And if this story touched your heart, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because out there, in office buildings and hospitals and ordinary streets, there are Daniels walking unnoticed, until someone finally listens. And when we do, the world changes.